guys, my name is Trinh and today I'm here to do a book review and discussion for Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This book is the second book of the Infernal Devices trilogy, and this is actually my second time reading Clockwork Princess. The first time I read this was 2013, so it's been 5 years, and if you don't know, I am rereading like the books from the Shadowhunter Chronicles with Emma Books. She's hosting this like year-long thing and I want to join because it's been like 5 years since I've read these books, so of course I decided to give it a reread and see what I think about each and every one of them. For the synopsis, honestly, it's quite hard to give you a proper synopsis just because it's the second book, and I just really think that it's best to just read the second book right after you read like either Clockwork Angel or City of Fallen Angels, because I always say that it's just best to read these books in publication order. It's just so much fun. Like seriously, I'm having the time of my life reading these books in publication order. This book was way better than I expected, honestly. Like the first time I read this book, I honestly don't remember my first reaction and my feelings and stuff like that. I've always viewed this book as like Clockwork Prince, like it's just a book in a trilogy. But now that I have reread this book, I love it so much. I enjoy this book so damn much. Like I had the time of my life reading this book. So the characters, we have more characters in this book, and I love all of the characters except for two. The characters are just amazing. Like we really go in depth with each and every one of them, and we get to see them interact with each other. Like it's freaking amazing in my opinion. So the two characters that I don't like, well, borderline hate, I hate them for really good reasons. But then there's one character that I really don't like, but then at the same time I feel bad for that person. And the character development for some of these characters are so amazing. It's like a huge upgrade from Clockwork Angel, because if you watch my book review for the first book, I did say that there's like a few characters that I don't like, that they're assholes and stuff, but then in this book, that certain character is redeemed in a way. Like we really get to know like the backstory of why that character is the way he is, and it's just freaking great. Like this book, so great, honestly. It's pretty big, but damn, I think it's really worth it. The thing that stands out to me in this book is that when I finished this book, I realized that like the villain, Mormon, oh, if you don't know, he's the villain anyway, so Mormon is the villain, the antagonist. He's not in this book at all. Like this guy is not in this book at all, and it's crazy to me because this book is like really long, and like the more we read this book, the more we're just like, oh my god, he's not even gonna be in this book. But I'm totally fine with that because he is such a strong and like dangerous villain, and also he's so powerful. Like he has a huge influence in this book. All of the characters are scared of him, and of course we're trying to find out what is his plan and where he is on that stuff. But like this villain is just fantastic because he's not in the book, but yet he is like a huge threat to almost everyone. So I'm fine with him not being in this book because of his influence, you know. Like we see the characters and how they are affected by this person, this villain, and I think it's just really great. Like I don't really give a shit about Mormon that much, but I will say he is like one of my favorite villains just because he's so powerful. I think the plot is great. This book is really funny. I love learning more about the politics. The characters are freaking amazing. Like this book is just A++. Like I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars at the end of the day, like, you know, on Goodreads, because I love it so much. Like I did cry a lot, I laugh a lot, damn, like it's just freaking great. So right now I'm reading the third book, and it's just a roller coaster. So that's about it for my review for Clockwork Prince. So if you have read this book, stay so we can discuss the events. But if you have not read this book, then leave now because I don't want you to be spoiled. I think it's just really great for you to read these books. Like I know it's tough to read the Shadowhunter Chronicles just because there's so many books, but I think the Infernal Devices is worth it because I think it's genuinely good. Like I love the characters. Like I genuinely love the characters. So leave now if you have not read the book, but if you have read the book, then stay. Alright, let's start with the trio, which is Tessa, Will, and Jem. Damn, it was a roller coaster because in Clockwork Angel we mostly see the interaction between Tessa and Will, but of course at the end he kind of just like fucking like, you know, insulted her. And then in Clockwork Prince she spends a lot of time with Jem because Jem is just really great and really nice and really caring, and he's just a sweetheart. But Will, I feel so bad for Will. Like, I didn't realize how badly I would feel for him, honestly, because like I did say that in Clockwork Angel he really annoyed me, but then I remember like the whole curse thing. The fact that Will and Jem don't know their feelings for Tessa, like Jem doesn't know that Will is like in love with Tessa, and Will doesn't even know that Jem is like also in love with Tessa until like the very end when he finds out that they're engaged. Like the whole time, like, dude, there are so many passages and pages in this book where Will notices something going on between Tessa and Jem, and the fact that he's like, my Jem, like at the end when he finds out that they're engaged baffles me, because the whole time I'm thinking like, dude, like, you didn't notice? Like, I noticed. I even outline or like underline the pages and like the sentences where Will notices something between them. And I'm just shocked that at the end, he's really shocked. So the engagement, at the end, it happens. So I was like, oh crap. And then like a chapter later, we get that conversation between Will and Tessa, and I fucking cried because it was just really heartbreaking, because Will is like so happy and he tells Tessa about the curse and how there's actually no curse, and then she has to break the news that they cannot be together because she is engaged. Like at first Will was like, no, we can't tell him and stuff like that, but Tessa was like, no, like I don't want to break his heart. Like, do you honestly want me to break his heart? It's fucking painful, man. I cried so much and I didn't realize I would cry. I also cry a lot when Tessa uses the poker to inflict pain on herself. And honestly, I feel so bad because Will and Jem are fantastic. I love this pair of brothers or friends, BFF, I don't know. It's just, I love them so much. Like every time we see a conversation between Will and Jem, I'm like, oh my god, I love these two together so much, because they're more than just like best friends. They're parabati or whatever. Like they're blood brothers. Like they said that in the book that they're so close, and I honestly love them so much, because the thing is that usually in love triangle, this is obviously a fucking love triangle, but it's like a really heartbreaking love triangle. When it comes to love triangle, usually like the two guys are like enemies. They hate each other for whatever reasons. Like we see it all the damn time, but in this they love each other. They're more than just best friends. That's the thing. That's why it's so heartbreaking when Will finds out. And the thing is, he has to be fine with it. Like at the end he gives a toast, and I'm so glad that there was like a toast and stuff like that, because when they break the announcement to people, no one said anything. And like I was like, oh my god, someone please say something, like Jem is gonna like be so devastated, and I don't want him to be sad because I love Jem so much. Well, I mean, I know that it's gonna be so painful for him to see Tessa and Jem together, but he sacrifices his love for her, and that to me, that's like a fucking development. That is a great character development. I really like Will in this book. I kind of love him in this book, honestly. And Tessa, I love Tessa so much in this book. I think she's freaking fantastic. Comparing her to Clary, because sometimes you cannot help but like compare the two main characters of like two different series in like the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I like Tessa more than Clary. Clary's fine, like she's fine, I don't hate her, but I'm indifferent most of the times when it comes to Clary. But when it comes to Tessa, like I love Tessa. I think she's a freaking great character. Now let's talk about how Tessa is in love with Jem. Like I'm sure she loves Jem, but at the end she constantly says to herself that I love Jem, I love Jem, I love Jem. She has to remind herself that she loves Jem. So a part of me is like, do you love Jem like you love Will? Like I think her relationship with Will is much better, because there's just so many great moments where they talk about books and talk about life, and the eye contact, oh my god, the freaking eye contact, it happens so many times, and I'm like, dude, like this is full with passion. But with Jem is more like soft, and I don't know, it's just like two different kinds of love. So Will's curse, so we finally learn what this curse is about. So we finally learn why he is the way he is in Clockwork Angel, the first book. Will admits that he loves Tessa. Like I think he says this to Magnus, and I love Will and Magnus' relationship in this book. I think they're so nice. Like they're working well together and they hang out quite a lot. So Will tells the story to Magnus how a demon puts a curse on him. So he was like, what, 12 years old? So he opens up this box, this demon comes out, and this demon put a curse on Will that like the people he loves, the people who love him will die. And an example of that is Ella, his older sister. So Ella died, but then it turns out that she died because of like the tail, like the demon tail shit from the demon. So that's why she died, not because of the curse. So the curse is just non-existent. That's just like a fucking joke at this point. So like it's just heartbreaking how like Will was like being mean and hostile and just horrible to everyone for like 5 fucking years for no reason whatsoever. So of course at the end he's quite sad about it. Like, what the fuck, man? But then at the same time, he's just like, oh my god, there's no curse. Like, I'm free of this. But at the same time, I feel really bad for him. So Sophie and Gideon. So we have a new character named Gideon, and he is Gabriel's like older brother. So like Benedict Lightwood, he has 3 children: Gideon, Gabriel, and Tatiana. And we only see the boys. So Sophie and Gideon, like, oh my god, I love them both so much. I love Sophie. I think she really stands out in this book because one time she fucking like punched Gabriel or slapped Gabriel. That was amazing. And then the second time she knocks Jessa Me on the head because Jessa Me was like betraying them and stuff. God, I love those scenes so much. I laughed so loud because I completely forgot about those scenes, especially where she slapped Gabriel. It's such a great scene, man. Gideon, I also really love Gideon. Like, not many people talk about Gideon, honestly, so I love him because of his own character development. So before he comes back to London, because, you know, he was in Madrid, I believe, he learns that his dad is just a fucking asshole. And I feel so bad for the guy because he has to carry this burden for like a really long time. The fact that his dad is just horrible in so many ways, and I love that he learns these things by himself, so he fixes his ways, he fixes his attitude, and then when he comes back to London, he's actually a decent human being. He's a great character in my opinion, and I love Sophie and Gideon. I love that there's something going on between them. I love that Gideon actually likes Sophie because he opens up to Sophie about these things, about like the whole demon pox thing. At the end, he comes back to the institute and such. I think that's all I have for them. So Charlotte and Henry, there's not much going on, I feel like. I know that they carry this burden of trying to find Mormon for like 2 weeks because there's a deadline because fucking Benedict Lightwood. But then I also love that how at the end they realize that they actually love each other, like genuinely love each other, not because of the fact that Charlotte needs a man to run the institute, or like Henry needs to pay debt, or like his family needs to pay debt, or whatever. They married because they love each other, and I think that's just fantastic. And Charlotte's pregnant at the end. Oh my god, I'm so happy that she's pregnant. So Jessa Me and Nate. Now Jessa Me is the character that I feel genuinely bad for, but honestly at the beginning of the book I really hated her. Like, I was like, this bitch is like ridiculous at this point. And Nate is someone who I will always hate. There's no redemption for him. Like, there really isn't, because when he died, he just died as like a fucking coward in my opinion. Jessa Me and Nate, so they're married. Didn't realize that, honestly. I forgot about that. So yeah, they're married, and Jessa Me betrays everyone in the institute, and that to me is like a huge like, what the fuck, man? Like, you have the nerve to betray everyone like that. And there are so many moments where, like, you know, she basically learns information and stuff, and then she passes it on to Nate passes it on to Mormon. And I like the fact that Tessa knows that Nate does not love Jessa Me. Tessa tells Jessa Me she would not listen, but then also at the end Jessa Me knows that Nate does not love her because like the ring, her like ring, you know, is totally fake. So Nate is just shit. He's the worst. Nate and Tessa are not fucking related. That's the thing. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, oh my god, they're not related, like, at all. So Nate's mom is actually Harriet. Aunt Harriet that Tessa always talks about. So it turns out that Harriet was like engaged to this guy, but then, you know, they had sex, but he died. So she was pregnant, and I guess like Tessa's parents brought up Nate as like their own to help her in a way, because she cannot raise a child as like a single mom. And this was like back in the days, like the late 1800s too, so of course it will look really bad, you know. So she never told him that she's his mom, and then he killed her. He actually killed her. He called her a whore and all these things in the book. I'm like, you are the fucking worst. Like, you are literally the worst. Like, this is your mom you're talking about. And then at the end of like the whole battle, he died. And I was like, fine with him dying, honestly. I know people are like, oh my god, he's dying, but it's mostly the fact that he's like the connection between Mormon and the other people, so like he's very valuable. But when he dies, I was totally fine with it. Like, he was just being like the biggest asshole, but then the moment he dies, he started being like, oh my god, I can't believe I had committed so many sins. I'm like, well, yeah, like the worst one is that you kill your mom, man. Like, you're totally going to hell. So now Mormon. We learn about Mormon quite a lot, like especially with his whole family thing and why he wants revenge on like the shadow hunters. So Mormon had adoptive warlock parents. John and Ain Shade had the Book of the White, and I think that's like illegal, and it turns out they're like dabbling in necromancy. But I think Mormon is like insanely pissed that his mom was killed even though she's like innocent and stuff. And then there's this thing called reparation, something like that. It's in the beginning of the book, you know, and of course that's just being ignored, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill all the shadow hunters then. And this is like before the Accord. So the Accord is like this peace treaty between the Downwarders and shadow hunters, and this whole chaos happened before the Accords, and this is also linked to Aloysius Starkweather. So he is like the head of the York Institute. So the trio goes there, you know, to try and find information, and like he's like about to send them away, and then he sees Tessa and he's like, what the hell? Like he recognizes her. I know what it's about, but I forgot honestly. So I'm reading Clockwork Princess right now, so I'm trying to remember what it is, you know, but that is a big deal because the way he reacts whenever he sees Tessa is a big deal. Benedict Lightwood. Now this is also another character that I genuinely hate. I hate Nate and I hate Benedict Lightwood. Like they're both really horrible. Like this guy is horrible in so many ways. Where do I start honestly? Let's start with the fact that he's like sexist. Like he's just sexist honestly, but that's just like one tiny thing comparing to everything else he has done in his life. He has demon pox. How? Because he has sex with demons, and it's just crazy because like in the book, the part where he is at his party and there's like a demon woman, that's Lilith. Oh my god, like that's fucking Lilith. So he's like fucking around with demons, and I'm just like really horrified by that. And the fact that he gave his wife demon pox and she killed herself for that, and that's just really horrible. And not just that, the fact that he lied about her death, why she died, to his sons. I feel so bad for Gabriel. I feel so bad for him because he's like genuinely thinks that like his dad is like telling the truth, but he's not. But then Gideon's just like, you know what, fuck you man, fuck you for bringing shame to the Lightwood name. Oh my god, that rhymes. So at the end, Gideon leaves the Lightwood Manor, and Gabriel stays behind mostly out of like loyalty, but then at the same time I feel so bad for the guy because it's just like he's confused, like he doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. Like I think he knows that deep down, he knows that his dad is just horrible and wrong, but I think it's just the fact that like he's like the only kid left. Like Tatiana's like married, Gideon left, so like Gabriel's like the only one. Oh my god, I feel so bad for the kid honestly. Like even though he's very frustrating at times, I do feel bad for him. Now there are 3 more things that I want to talk about in this book. So the confrontation between Charlotte and Jessa Me, that's a freaking great confrontation. It's like around the time like Tessa comes back from the ball, and then like they're in Jessa Me's room, and Jessa Me is like, I will betray everyone, and Charlotte walks in and she's like, you fucking betray everyone. The scene where Jessa Me is holding the sword because she has to tell the truth, I think that's just a freaking great scene. Like yes, I feel bad for everyone. I feel bad for Jessa Me for being fucking blind. I feel bad for Charlotte because she's like a mom figure, and like she feels like really betrayed and sad that Jessa Me would do something like this. But damn, that confrontation, I was just having the time of my life reading that scene because it was so intense. But then we also learned that Tessa's dad is a demon and her mom is a shadow hunter. We all know that, yeah, maybe that's the truth, but at the same time, we've been told over and over and over again that that is not possible because the offspring of a demon and a shadow hunter is just a stillborn. Like, there's no way Tessa can be the offspring of those 2 people, I guess. But we don't know, and I'm so excited to find out because that's just like a little hint, I feel like. I mean, we still don't know like the whole truth, that's the thing. But damn, that was a great like plot twist. It was like in the middle of the book and I was like, oh shit. And then also at the end, Cecily Herondale, she's coming to the Institute and she wants to train and be a shadow hunter. So that is it for my book review and discussion for Clockwork Prince. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's so much fun rereading this series. It's coming to an end in a way because there's only 3 books and I'm reading them really fast, I'm not gonna lie. So right now I'm reading the 3rd book. I mean, I've only started it, so I cannot say much, but god, I forgot how much I love this trilogy. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye!